this week at Colorado elevate our perception nationally to
100%.
maybe where it should be?
Colorado's the perfect team for that because they've got a bunch of spotlights, deserved or undeserved.
Cougars, Buffalo. Cougars usually win. I think they just grab the neck and. I mean,
this is a family-friendly show.
That's like Mike Leach talking there. Right?
Utah was in a P5 conference. Yeah. Just kidding. They were in a P5 conference, but they wanted a time or two.
What?
They wanted a time or two. They went to the Rose Bowl. I mean, they were ranked in the top 10 year in, year out.
They went twice to the Rose Bowl, right? How many of those they win? Hello and welcome to All In on Blue. We're glad to have you here with us today. We've got we're going to be going over some fun. We're going to talk about Colorado. We're headed into the into Folsom, into Boulder. Prime time play. Prime time on the road.
Big 12 play.
Big 12. It'll be a good time. We want to thank our sponsor today. This is sponsored today by The Scriptures Are Real. Fantastic podcast. Hope you'll watch them. All you BYU Cougar fans out there, you'll love it. Make sure you also subscribe to All In on Blue. We appreciate you subscribing. Please comment and share this if you would. What were our grades for the game? What did you guys think about East Carolina going out there to Rowdy Dowdy and with the Pirates? How do we do?
I would give us an A-. I think we actually had a really good game. I saw a lot of growth. Loved seeing that. Loved what I saw on the defensive side, as we talked about before. But I think that they gave me everything I had hoped for and probably a little bit more.
Cool. I would agree. I think probably a B+ if we're saying that C is right where we expected to be as far as average, right? I would give us a B+ because I saw more positives than negatives, still some question marks, and we'll find out as our schedule really does slowly ramp up perfectly, hopefully, into a gauntlet 4-game stretch. So we'll see. But yeah, B+. That's my thought.
B+, why? What did you see in the game to give A- Keith, B+ Taylor? What did you see in that game at East Carolina? That warrants those grades.
No, here, I'll break it down a little more. In my opinion, Bear Bachmeier did what he was asked, which he's done all year so far. I don't know how you can dog on him too much when he's done what he's asked. He's made good reads. He's missed a couple throws, but what quarterback doesn't miss a couple throws? And he's a true freshman. And it impresses me, his knowledge of the offense so far. And he looks like he's in command. I think offensive line looked really good, didn't give up a sack. We were still able to run the ball, maybe not quite as effectively, but as your schedule ramps up, you're going to have those tune-up games. Offensively, I think we looked pretty good. Defensively, we looked like the 85 Bears our first two games because we were playing like them, right? Against our competition, many would argue, and I would agree, is that you're going to look like the 85 Bears when you're against those two offenses. But this offense was a very good offense. And I think what we showed was that, okay, maybe we've got some things to tune up schematically as well as technique wise, but made big plays when we had to. And I think that that's a big positive when looking at a defense overall is, do you make the big plays when you have to and you're under a lot of pressure? And we made a few of those. And so that warrants a B+ for me.
Keith, why the A-?
Well, probably because in my math skills, I was probably more like an 87 and just assumed that was an A- instead of a B+. No.
What?
Oh, so you're just trying to agree with me now. I get it. Taylor thinks that? Oh, yeah, I'll drop it down to a B+.
You studied economics. You have to do math for that, right?
No, I felt like, to me, I was feeling like we'd go in, it would be a little bit closer. I think our defense applied good pressure. I think we did what we needed to on that, with their, I would say, great passing attack. I think we were able to keep them to, pretty low scoring game for as good as I felt like their offense was. So I'd put them, our defense up there as an A. I think our offense also looked good, right? Again, we've talked about this before, but there's going to be a little more growing pains, I think, with our offense, especially with a new quarterback, a young quarterback. But I think he excelled what I expected by quite a bit. And I think he would be in that, maybe offensively, I'd put us in a B category. So averaged out, I'd give us an A-. And I think that's a pretty fair for this stage in the season, right? Do I think if I'm sitting here at our last game of the season and we just put on that performance, would I still give it an A-? No.
Considering where we're at.
Yeah, but considering where we're at, I think that was a nice, solid game.
And before you get into yours, David, really quick, is remember, you predicted, was it a 6-point win? What did you predict?
No, I picked you 2-score win.
2-score win. Okay.
10-14.
And what was yours? Yours was 14.
14.
Mine was 17. So we won by 21 points. I mean, we exceeded our expectations. I think we all knew East Carolina was going to be a decent team.
Yeah.
And they've proved to be that over the last few years. So
now, I would give us a B. And my reasoning is, our defense has been playing at an A at that game. I mean, there were a few weaknesses, right? We saw there's some areas for improvement. They're great. So I'm going to give the defense an A-, just because there's some room for improvement. They were able to make some plays, get some penetration at times on our defense that I'd like to see tightened up a little bit. A few plays.
So David, I think David needs just more turnovers. Needs to shut them down. No, if they gain over 100 yards, it's a bad game.
No, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, and regardless of turnovers, I mean, turnovers are great. Turnovers are, and we'll talk about turnovers in a minute here, but I'm not talking about just more turnovers. I'm not talking about us getting picks and sacks and so forth necessary. I'm talking about just our, tightening up our defense a little bit. They had some receivers that were able to make some plays on the ball. Granted, they had a great quarterback, and he was pretty accurate, but they were able to make some plays, some receptions that we were just playing a little bit too soft for me. I'd like to see us tighten it up just a little bit. Granted, they're talented and they're quick, but so that's why I give us just an A- on defense for that game, not on the whole season as a whole. Right, first 3 games, I'd have to say we were an A. Right, but there's still some things that need a little bit of improving. Our offense, I give our offense probably a B- where we are, but that's good with a true freshman coming into it, having not been that tested, but we started out slow. We really picked up when our defense picked up in the second half, and our offense started to then follow that rhythm, that momentum from the defense. And so, I give the offense probably B. So I'd give the team as a whole in the East Carolina game probably a B, solid Sweet. B for the game.
Yeah, and there was another interception that was negated by 12 men on the field?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, the defense made some plays, and I would agree. I think the down in, down out of can we keep them from running the ball for 4 yards every play, or can we eliminate those big plays? I think those things will come, but I would agree. I would agree with a lot of what you said.
So question, if you are looking at them, is it the players you're grading and how they're playing, or do you think some of this is the coaches, right? Because that's a piece of it too. I do feel like we've talked a lot about this bend but don't break philosophy, right? Or offense. Maybe the reason we weren't going so great in the first half was the coaches maybe being a little more conservative, making sure that we were doing what we need to. So
now, one of the things to discuss about the coaches, I was watching the game yesterday with a group of people, and somebody brought up the chewing of gum. Should coaches chew gum or not chew gum on the sideline?
Where are we at in this?
Right? I mean, so both of them, both head coaches, I should preface this a little bit, both head coaches were chewing gum. One was chewing it just, gently with his mouth closed, and the other one. And this person I was watching with was like, I don't like that coach.
because of that.
They were chomping on the gum. Is that a problem? Or?
I know.
Absolutely not.
On the sideline, I think every coach should chew gum. Preferably gum over something else. Right?
This guy grew up coaching me in Little League, and I have some memories in my head where he would have to stop at the end of the game, towards like a big moment at the end of the game, and just go chug water because his cotton mouth was so bad. He's just like talking to the team. So I think that's why they do it. I mean, this is a gum side note, but Chew your gum. Let them chew your gum.
It takes out the nervous energy.
Let them chew their gum.
Chomp away.
Leave them be.
It's going to be something worse.
They're at work.
Chomping on gum on the sideline.
Yeah, it's got to be.
Who is this team? Who are we really? Are we? Where do we stand in relation to the rest of the Big 12? With 3 games in, we've seen a few things now. Who are we, and where do we stack up in the Big 12?
Well, I'll say this: rankings came out, and we're 25th in the country. I think we sit in a good spot with a team identity of our defense has a very high ceiling, and if they can fix their down in, down out, maybe just tweak a few things, not even fix. We played a good game. I mean, we gave up 13 points. You're going to win a lot of football games if you give up 13 points. But I would say our offense knows they can rely on our defense at this point. And that's a trust that really has to come. If there's tension between your offense and defense, it really hurts your team. And our offense knows that our defense is going to bail them out when they need to. And I think that the trust is becoming to go the other way as well. I think it's really trending that direction where offense or the defense will be able to trust the offense to make plays as well. And I think that's been really good for us. I think we're in a good spot considering who we've played, where we've come from, and where we're headed.
I mean, we're starting this week. We're starting in conference play, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean, from here on out, the schedule doesn't get easier; it gets harder.
And big time matters.
Tougher competition.
Yeah, big time matters.
We watched yesterday, Utah and Texas Tech, right? 2 of the teams that are predicted to be at the top of the Big 12 after the first 3 weeks of play. Where do we sit as a team? Are we, Utah? Utah didn't look very good yesterday.
Don't talk. Just kidding. No, I think.
But are they better? Is Utah? I don't want to make this about Utah, but are they?
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
Okay, a little bit about Utah.
I might have a different take on this. I don't care where we sit. I think we have so much, we're growing in big steps. I think if we get caught up and worry about where we sit now, and I think probably coaches would agree with me, is we're a 1 game at a time team for sure.
Oh yeah.
But when you say you don't care where we sit, you mean you don't care where we sit in the rankings? You mean you don't care? The first 3 games just don't matter?
No. Not in the rankings. But if I'm sitting here looking at the Big 12 right now, I'm not going to sit there and think, okay, I think we're in 3rd place or 5th place or the bottom, right? I think we're a new enough offense and our program is growing that I think really it doesn't matter where we sit until we get to those games. Because if we start thinking, are we good enough right now to beat Texas Tech? Then I think we're in trouble. We have to just say, hey, right now, are we good enough to beat Colorado? And then we'll worry about the game after that.
Well, that's what coaches and players are thinking, hopefully, right? I mean, good coaches are taking it 1 game at a time, and they're talking to their team about not worrying about where they sit.
Yeah.
But it's kind of fun for me.
Yeah, I mean, it's
kind of fun for me to kind of say, hey, where are we?
We're local
and
podcasters.
For a lot of our fans out there.
We're local podcasters, soon to be national. Just kidding. No, but I would agree. I think right now going to the Colorado game, I think we're sitting pretty. I think we're in a good spot. I mean, could we be sitting better? Yes. But I think everyone in practice this whole week is going to be like, yeah, we can beat Colorado. And I do think that as we continue to puzzle these games together, piece them together piece by piece, I think the team will start to naturally feel like, okay, I mean, don't tell me that these players aren't going home. They're watching their opponents that they're going to play later in the year. I guaranteed that the BYU players were sitting in their hotel. I mean, some of them were tuned in to watch that Texas Tech Utah game. I mean, you're calming your jitters. You got your pregame routines going on. And for me, I mean, I always took a pregame nap. I took a shower. I would kind of just relax a little bit, try and get that going. I mean, they're watching those teams. They know where they're sitting, whether they're trying to think about it or not. But I think we're sitting in a good spot, and our schedule is tuned nicely to be able to ramp us up into the tough part of our schedule. So I like how we're sitting. So we're ranked 25 in the AP, right? I don't know. That's good or bad or really matters. We're moving up slowly.
right? I mean, we dropped a little, we came back up, right? But we clearly, from a national perspective, if you listen to what's going on, what national commentators are saying and analysts are saying about BYU, we're kind of unknown. A lot of people think we're overlooked at 3-0, that we're a better team than what the respect maybe that we're given. Would a win this week at Colorado elevate our perception nationally to maybe where it should be?
Colorado's the perfect team for that because they've got a bunch of spotlights, deserved or undeserved. They've got a lot of spotlights on that program. And I think we'll show up and we beat them once. If we show up and beat them again, Coach Prime's got respect for Kalani. I think that'll jump us into the national spotlight, which could be good or bad. I think that BYU does very well historically, in my mind. I haven't looked up the stats, but when we're the team that's not supposed to be very good, we seem to do a little bit better than, oh man, you guys were supposed to be good this year. I think, personally.
Yeah, I think that's we like to fly under the radar a little bit.
Yeah, until the last few games.
Which I don't mind. I like this idea of we're able to be under the radar. You know, I'm good with where we've been ranked to this point.
And we've talked about this. If Jake Retzlaff's on our roster, I bet you we're ranked right in that. I mean, right now, Texas Tech's 12, Iowa State's 14, TCU's 24. I bet you we're between 12 and 18 right now if Jake Retzlaff's on our team. And I don't think he would have necessarily played any better than Bears played. I think it's just because right now these early rankings, they don't tell you too much, especially when all the cupcake games are kind of getting out of the way now. We're getting into, you're playing your conference, we're going to find out how good you are.
We talk about BYU being overlooked, but and that we're kind of a growing team. And I think we are a growing team. But if you look back over the last, 16, 18 games, something like that, I mean, we're tied for second highest win percentage. Only Oregon has a higher win percentage than Brigham Young.
Yeah. Right
now. Why is it that BYU is maybe overlooked in the Big 12 after last season being, we're only in our second year. I mean, that's impressive, but we had a year last year in the Big 12 in a P4 conference.
I think some of it's a lot of years not in one of the P5s, right? So I think it's easy. We haven't been a lot in that national discussion. So I think we're easy to overlook.
Kind of like SMU's overlooked, right? I mean, they had a great season last year.
Yeah,
right, last couple of years, right? But they're a new P4.
Well,
they're kind of overlooked too.
And as well, like Utah was in a P5 conference.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. They were in a P5 conference, but they wanted a time or two.
What?
They wanted a time or two. They went to the Rose Bowl. I mean, they were ranked in the top 10 year in, year out.
They went twice to the Rose Bowl, right? How many of those they win?
Okay. They went to the Rose Bowl. I don't care what you say. They went to the Rose Bowl. Impressive. No, but that's what jumps Utah into the immediate discussion of, okay, we're going to rank you in the top 25. We're going to rank you in the top 20.
Well, isn't it natural? Like, think about how you think about Alabama, right? They're having a down year compared to where they've been, but it doesn't matter when you see that Alabama's playing. I think in my mind, there'll always be a top team. You just expect that they're going to win, even though I'm not looking at where they're at right now.
That's very true. That's why the preseason top 25 are going to include the Blue Bloods and the people from last year that were decent that have the same quarterback back. Really, it's pretty easy to tell. I mean, we could have, I think, what did we end the year ranked last year? 12? I think we jumped into playoff projection of we moved up after our bowl game. Yeah. And then we start the preseason because we lose our quarterback. We start the preseason ranking not in the rankings. Whereas I think if you're a blue blood name, people are like, oh, that coach, where it be Nick Saban or Kyle Whittingham or Lane Kiffin or Lincoln Riley, any of these coaches, they're going to get a quarterback in that's going to make them a top 25 team. Where Kalani maybe needs a few years in the Big 12 of proving year in, year out that he can compete, where the media, which the media doesn't matter, but the media might give him the attention if we can do what some of these other schools have done.
Now, looking way ahead, into, the playoffs and the, Big 12 Conference Championship, how many losses do you think BYU can suffer and still stand a decent chance of getting into the play? I know we're way early to be thinking about that, but it's kind of fun. What do you think?
I would say, we have to get into our conference championship game for sure. So to get into our conference championship game, I think you can only have one. I don't think we'll have two and be able to get in. And then, questionable, but I think you might be able to lose a conference championship if we're ranked high enough and still get in. So probably only one loss, but possibly two.
I disagree. I disagree with that because I think we very likely could see with the level of competition in the Big 12 right now, there are a lot of good teams. We saw Texas Tech yesterday beat up on Utah. I keep coming back to that, but Utah's a good team.
Yeah.
I think what we've seen already from Utah proves that, they're a good team. They didn't match up very well with Texas Tech, but I think we could see a 2 or even 3 loss team getting into the Big 12 championship. Now, if you win in the Big 12 championship, you're in. So I think we could get in if we win the Big 12 championship with 2 or even 3 losses potentially.
Yeah,
I think it's risky, but if we lose,
I don't think there's a chance. I don't think when you're talking, because so much is conferences, you're talking SEC, Big 10, and Big 12. Look at the rankings. But if we win, we're in. I know. If we win, we're in.
Yeah.
I know, but look at the rankings now. I don't think that they're going to, what's the highest conference or Big 12 team that's even
the highest?
12?
Highest is Texas Tech at 12.
12. So everyone above that is already SEC Big 12.
No, I agree.
Big 10.
I agree
Big
with
10,
you.
sorry.
One loss is probably the max if we don't win the Big 12 championship.
Yeah.
Or for whatever team loses, if they want a shot at the playoff, probably one loss max, right? And it's probably that Big 12 championship, right? Game. But in order you got to go into that undefeated. But I think if we have at the top of the conference a team with 3 losses going into the championship game with a tiebreaker situation like we had last year, where they get in and they win, they're going to the playoff. So it's possible.
And then maybe you put the 1-loss team that they played in the Big 12 championship in as well, because that was their second loss and they lost to a pretty dang good team. So I think, sad to say it, but I think the Big 12, this is my thought, I think we're kind of a max 2 team in right now. I don't think that you're going to have 2 teams get into the conference championship over a third team that will make the playoff. Yeah. So I think the maximum we'll get in is 2. Yeah. But I think that all of this plays into, it's good to see big games. Big noon kickoff down at Rice Eccles. That's good to have for the Big 12. It's good to have, and that Utah game was closer than the score showed. But it was a good football game. I watched it and it was a fun game to watch. But I think having those games in the spotlight will help the Big 12. And really, when it comes down to it, we're going to have to beat some of those SEC Big 10 teams and even some of the marquee ACC schools to be able to show, the Big 12 isn't just a second tier conference, which I don't think it is. I think top to bottom, the Big 12 is a really good conference, but we're going to need Arizona State to beat the Texases. We're going to need those games to go the other way where teams are like, okay, the winner of the Big 12 can compete with the winners of the other big conferences.
I agree, because some of the problem is when you have a conference where teams beat up on each other, right? So you almost need a dominant team or 2 that looks really good, because if not, and everyone goes into the conference championship with, the 2 teams that both get in have 3 losses, I think you start to lose a little bit of respect for the conference. So I think we need to have some clear winners and then go in and make a little bit of a run through the playoffs as well.
Now that we've dreamed about BYU getting into the playoffs here and jumped way ahead, let's jump back to one game ahead, like we should be talking about. Let's talk in depth about Colorado. As we do that, we're gonna
We got a Buffalo fan out here. This is terrible.
We're gonna break out the hat, not Buffalo fans. We're all blue, but one of us is going to wear a baseball cap from the opposing team, and their responsibility is going to be to defend that team, and talk about their key points and defend that team. So.
Should we vote on who has to wear it?
Who wants to wear it today?
Let's vote. Who votes David?
I vote David. David, you can be the Buffaloes fan.
For today, I'm gonna wear the Colorado. This is hard for me. But I'm gonna put it on.
Because it doesn't fit over that hairline?
It fits.
Your wig?
Fits.
I'm just kidding.
A little crispy, but it fits.
So what do we know about Colorado going into this game? Like what have they done so far? They played this week against Wyoming.
Yeah. They are.
Oh, I forgot. I'm like, okay, news to me. I don't know. What do we know about them?
They're a very athletic team.
Yeah.
They got some good athletes. They've got some guys. They got a receiver that had a breakout game this last week, and Miller O'Marion, I think is his name. O'Marion Miller had a breakout game. They've got a talented quarterback that can run. They can penetrate on him. They'll make plays on defense. They haven't shown necessarily, their defensive line, and to be, pushing the offensive line back, but they're able to blitz, make some athletic plays in the backfield and mix things up quite a bit. Could cause some serious disruption in the backfield for LJ Martin and Bear.
Is this Coach Prime's third year? This is his third season, right?
Year, I believe.
Yeah, because they had two with Shadur and Travis, and this is his third year. So the recruits are starting to be Coach Prime recruits.
True.
And you're telling me that if maybe the best corner to ever play the game calls you and you're a defensive back and he says, hey, I want to coach you, you're at least entertaining it, because Colorado is building up this NIL fund. They're able to compete with the big schools. They've got the athletes in year 3 of Coach Prime. And I think that will show on the field this week, there may still be holes in their team, but they're going to have athletes. That's for sure.
Well, and I think week 1, they lost to Georgia Tech. And I think everyone kind of discounted Colorado, thinking, maybe they're not the Colorado they've been. But if I remember right.
But Georgia Tech's proven to be a team too.
Yeah.
Well, and so they lost to Georgia Tech. It was 27-20. And then they beat Delaware, which I don't know anything about Delaware, but 31-7.
Yeah.
Then they lost
to Wyoming.
They lost to Houston.
They had 4 games. Yeah,
they played Houston.
They played week 0. Yeah.
And
Houston's proven to be pretty good right now.
And
Houston's still undefeated, aren't they?
I believe they are actually.
Sure, but they lost 36-20.
Yeah.
Against Houston, and then they beat Wyoming, which everyone I think was thinking was a pretty good team.
Wyoming's got a good,
that they were showing
decent team,
and they beat Wyoming this last week, 37-20. Yeah. So in my view,
they've lost to 2 good teams.
A couple weeks ago, I would have said, they don't look very good, but I think they're looking like a pretty good team. We're going to have to play a really good game
at their place. They've got a really good environment. I'm sure the Cougars will show up. The Cougar fans will be there, but Folsom Field's a tough environment to play. I think it'll be a good.
Fans could make a difference, and we're going to have a big contingent in Colorado.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
There's a lot of Cougars.
There's a lot of BYU fans there,
and people will travel.
Yeah, close enough to travel for sure.
Here's one thing that scares me without looking in depth to their stats and who's their playmakers, who whatever. I've looked into that stuff, but Colorado lost to Georgia Tech, who's now the 18th ranked team in the country, by 7 points. And it was a ball game right until the end. So I think that whatever we say about Colorado, maybe I should put the hat on for this one. I don't know, but Colorado's a decent team. They're a team that's able to compete with good teams.
That's just what that means. If you feel like you need to put, that just means I'm doing a good job of convincing you guys, right?
Oh crap. we're losing out here.
Yeah. The more we're talking, I'm getting a little nervous about Colorado.
Yeah, man. We're going to need the blue goggles on while he's got that hat on, I guess.
I think we got him here, guys.
Yeah, that's the special occasions only. So yeah, I don't know. I'm excited to see. I think it'll be interesting to see because really every game we've talked about this a little on the show, is every game we've been able to zoom in and focus on a certain portion of BYU's game. I think that the Stanford game, Portland State was a tune-up, right? The Stanford game, they had some dudes in the trenches, and I think that our offensive and defensive line really benefited from that game because they were able to go up against that competition, and their trenches were good. I think that Stanford's skill positions weren't quite as good. You get into ECU, and they're a proven offense, right? I mean, our defense needs tests to improve, and I think that was good for our defense. I think coming into the Colorado game is going to be basically we're going to have sorry, lost my train of thought for a second. Basically, we're going to have athletes on both sides of the ball that our offense and defense are going to have to figure out how to deal with. And that's, I think, going to be the biggest takeaway is you're up another level of how can you play against increasingly tougher competition.
Well, not only tougher competition. And Colorado is not going to come into this game even slightly unprepared or taking BYU for granted, especially after the Alamo Bowl last year and the embarrassment that they had. Coach Prime, as professional as he is, as much as I respect Coach Prime, and he's going to be humble about it. He said very complimentary things, as you recall, after the Alamo Bowl about BYU. But inside, that man was embarrassed, and he is determined to have his team ready, maybe for BYU more than any other game this year to show what they can do at home against a BYU team who hopefully doesn't come into it a little bit overconfident because Colorado may be a slightly overlooked team too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I think I know what Coach Prime's message is going to be the whole week to his team. It's, hey, you remember that when we were supposed to thump these guys? Because I think the media was thinking, oh, Colorado's going to put a beat down on BYU. And then the media will do that with them, right? But I think now you look at that. Coach Prime's message is going to be, "Hey, these guys embarrassed us. We got to embarrass them back on our home field too."
Well, I feel like Colorado, they have a much more balanced attack than we've been used to seeing. Against Wyoming, they had 193 rush yards, 304 receiving yards. So a pretty balanced team, and I would say the caliber of recruits to back it up. Yeah. Right. Where we really are going to have to bring an A game to compete with Colorado.
Yeah. Their quarterback can run as well too. He's pretty good at making those split second decisions to go on the move and get the first down or whatever. I think he's actually their leading rusher on the season. So they've got a good kind of running back by committee, but their quarterback can really move with his legs. So we'll see how it works out.
Where with the matchups now, what are the key matchups between us and Colorado? Where does Colorado, what do they need to do to win the game? What are their strengths if they perform correctly, could win the game? And what are our strengths as Cougars? And Cougars, Buffalo, Cougars usually win. I think I just grab the neck and I mean,
this is a family-friendly show.
That's like Mike Leach talking there.
The great Mike Leach.
So where? But what are the key matchups for Colorado and for BYU?
Every game's won and lost in the trenches, and I think it starts with the very first play from scrimmage. So I think that if our offensive line can kind of assert dominance and gain the confidence in their first drive or two, that they can manhandle Colorado's defensive line enough to generate offense, get LJ Martin first down, Sione Moa, let our running backs really kick it off for the Cougars. I think that will make Bear more comfortable in knowing he doesn't have to make every throw if he wants to move the ball, right? I think if you can start the run game off, I think that'll be a big key for BYU against Colorado is, can we consistently run the football? And our offensive line's been looking, I mean, what do we have to complain about so far? They've been looking really good. So I'm excited to see that.
So I'm going to say, not totally different than Taylor, but I'm going to say, I think our rushing game, we're going to be able to move the ball. But if we can't complete passes, I think we're going to be able to see Colorado slow down our running game. So to me, a key is going to be against maybe a little bit better defense than we've seen. Can Bear still make the reads? Because you know that Coach Prime's going to come with a really good defensive game plan, and he's going to try and switch up coverages. And if Bear can't make those reads, we could be in trouble, because then they can stack the box and slow down the run game. So I think that's one. Maybe the second key that I would say is I think our defense is going to really have to deliver. Being that they have a balanced attack, we're going to have to get a lot of pressure on their quarterback. We're going to really have to slow down and be able to get the offense on the field more and more quickly.
I think we're going to control the line in this game. I think we're going to be able to move the ball on Colorado.
Yeah.
Watching the Wyoming game yesterday, Wyoming, I think, controlled the trenches a little bit better. I think we'll be able to not only move the ball, but stop them. I think this comes down to a big play. If Colorado's going to win it, it's going to be with big plays on offense and big plays on defense. So, my key for Colorado is they've got to make some big plays offensively. It's not going to be just driving little by little down the field. Yeah. They got to make some big plays on offense, and they've got to penetrate, make some sacks on defense, stir things up, get Bear rattled to stop our offense.
This sounds like you need BYU, to put back on the Colorado hat.
For BYU, I'm not putting the hat back on. It'll go on my shelf.
Well, you're giving Colorado key plays to the game.
But for BYU, it's just play consistently, and I think it's about managing, not giving up the big plays, and not allowing turnovers. Because if they can force some turnovers, that can totally turn the tide of the game.
Yeah.
In the favor of Colorado.
Yeah, I'm going to have eyeballs on our secondary as well, because I think the secondary left. I mean, although we had 2 interceptions, a third one that was called back, I think the secondary left it up kind of for a little bit of judgment from us, because they gave up quite a bit of pass yards against East Carolina. I think Colorado is going to have the athletes and the scheme to really show what our secondary is going to be able to do.
But I don't know that we will face any better, wideouts. They have a couple of receivers in East Carolina that were.
That not to discredit them
as maybe
they were good.
Any receivers will face.
Yeah, totally, and
including Colorado.
I've talked to a lot of people, and BYU fans, granted, but those that have looked into East Carolina, they'll tell you that. I mean, East Carolina had a very good passing offense.
Well, no question. And I think we got lucky with a few drops. I mean, we had some of our own.
Yeah.
But we did get lucky with a few drops in there that would have changed a little bit of the game and how that went.
Oh, yeah, for sure. For sure. I'm excited, though. It'll be a fun one. I do think that Colorado benefits a lot from bringing teams into the altitude, just like BYU does, but luckily, hopefully, that we're a little bit more even on that playing field of, hey, we're used to your environment, we're used to that. Altitude makes a big difference. I'll tell you that. That's for sure. But
the altitude in Provo is not a whole lot.
I'm just saying in general, like when I played at Snow and we'd bring teams in from Miami or whatever. I mean, they were huffing and puffing in the first quarter because it's a thinner. Yeah. I mean, granted, they probably came in the day before or that day, but
so they're not used to it. In a couple days, that's not really enough time to get.
No, but it plays a big difference. Big difference.
Are we gonna get another pick 6? By the way,
that'd be awesome if our defense could score again. That'd be awesome. I'm gonna say it's gonna be our defensive line's time to really step up, and I think that not that they haven't been, but if we can control the line of scrimmage on the defensive side of the ball as well, to where I don't judge it by necessarily sacks, but if we can shut their run game down, it really frees up what our defense can call. Like if we know they can't run the ball on us, I'm interested to see what can our D-line and linebackers do that's going to shut down their run game and really funnel them into making the calls we know they're going to make and throwing the ball every single down. Like if we can just shut their run game down, I think that'll be huge for the Cougars.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I would agree with that. I guess if I'm looking at a bold prediction, kind of going along with that, I think we're going to end up with 5 sacks on the day. I think we're going to bring a lot more pressure.
That's pretty bold.
That is pretty bold.
That would be awesome.
We had 2 last game, and we were all like, "Oh, it'd be nice to have a few more sacks, right?" Yeah. So I guess five's a good prediction.
I mean,
it's a great goal for sure.
Yeah. And then I also think, and this would open things up a lot, but I think Bear is going to have a few more rush yards. I think he's seen what he can do. You know, you always have to spy that quarterback if you know he's a threat. And so I think, I could see him having, 35 rush yards on the day.
And this is something that sounds funny too. Maybe this is a little off script, but if you're a team that's watching Bear Bachmeier's film, you have 3 games so far, and you're looking at it and you're saying, oh man, this kid can run, because I think that naturally when you're a freshman quarterback, you show up and okay, I know how to do this with my legs. So when you get flustered a little, you might be a little quick to scramble around. I think Bear's done a good job of not doing that, but there have been times where he's taken off and bolted. And if you haven't studied Bear Bachmeier like us 3 have, you might not know, okay, he really can sling the ball. You might see, he reverts really quick to running the football. Whereas I don't think that's Bear's identity. I think that's him being young. So I think the Colorado defensive staff will be ready for Bear to run the ball, and I think he'll be able to use that to his advantage in the game.
And I love the way Bear runs the ball.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you see him wrap that ball, hold on to it. I mean, he's concerned. He's focused on. I'm not turning this ball over.
Yeah, he packs a punch.
And he runs like a bull. I mean, it looked like he's just straight up running with those big legs of his.
Yeah,
it looked like defenders are coming in there. Either they were missing or bouncing off of him. It looked like a bowling ball going through bowling pins.
Well, and I'd say some of that running, right?
He was determined.
Instead of being just quick because he didn't know where the read, and so he decided to turn to his legs. I think some of those runs were called runs.
Oh yeah,
right. And so I think the coaches, clearly know that he can.
His scamper into the end zone. What was it, like a 16, 17 yard run, something like that? That was an RPO. I mean, that was an RPO. He may have decided before, because you can read it before, but that was an RPO, and he said, "I can score this thing." And it was on a 3rd down, I think, a big 3rd down touchdown run. I think I could be wrong, but
I think you're right.
When a defense sees a quarterback running at him, usually their eyes light up. They're like, "Oh man, we're going to take out the quarterback."
You don't see that fear that you see with some running backs, right?
Yeah,
or a big tight end.
Exactly. Or you'll see corners that are acting macho. They're like, "Oh, it's a quarterback. I'm going to hit him." And you won't see a corner. They'll be diving at his legs, And I think a lot of players do that because he's a big boy. So, the 47 helps. You see 47 coming at you, you're thinking linebacker.
What's this linebacker running down the field?
It reminds me of when I had to take on Chad Lewis head on. And I'm coming in, and it's he and I coming down the sideline. I'm this, 180-pound cornerback, and here comes Chad Lewis, big. I think he was a senior, and I'm still a redshirt freshman. And I was just total fear in my eyes. All I could do was just drop and hope I caught his ankles on the way down.
Yeah,
right? And that's how I think some of the secondary probably is looking at Bear when he's coming through there. He's a big boy.
And the leather helmets probably didn't help, right? I mean, you got a leather helmet on, you're like, man, he's going to kill me here. These two old heads.
In the leather helmet days.
Man, they start talking about their glory days. I'm like, I can't relate.
We're not that old.
But there wasn't a lot of glory. There were days.
Yeah, there were days. There were days.
Yeah, my bold prediction for this game is special teams. Our special teams have been considered. They've had a few, a couple muffed, punts, whatever they've had. But overall, they've been big difference makers. I think this game, maybe more than in other games, our special teams are going to step up. I think we're going to see, Will Ferrell. Man,
and I
got to explain for those who didn't hear the last one. Yeah, I called him Will Ferrell. Whatever. So
Will Ferrell, if you're watching, you're invited. You're invited to the podcast. We'll make a segment for you. Just study Will Ferrell first, and then you can come out.
We'll even take you down to the stadium, let you make a few kicks for fun.
We'll take you to the Creamery, the MTC. We'll show you around.
any Will Ferrell fans out there? We got you.
Make sure he subscribes.
All right, but no, Will Ferrell, I think he's going to be a difference maker. And I think we're going to see some breaks. Maybe I'm ready for a nice block punt against Colorado. I think we could get that kind of penetration there, that we see some difference from our special teams. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
We've made a difference on that muff punt, our special teams unit. So that's people overlook that. Special teams makes a huge difference in a game, especially because most of the time they're the biggest momentum changing plays because you don't expect them. Right? It's like, oh crap, we just punted, like in the ECU game. Oh, dang it. We just got a nice interception and we turned the ball over. We're punting to them. Oh, wow. We might be able to score before the half, pick six. Like that. That's what catalysted the score before halftime for BYU.
So there was a lot of chat in our, on social media around us about the refs. A lot of our fans were complaining about the refs in this game. I'm not one that loves to blame things on refs, but how did you feel about the calls at East Carolina? And how do you feel about refs in general? And can that swing a game? Can a bad call swing a game entirely? I mean, looking back to the Utah game, they definitely think so.
What, the last year's game?
Last year's game.
Yeah, I guess we got to talk about it as much as we can, right?
So,
we don't know how long it'll last. No, my thought on the refs is there were a few calls where clearly I was like, okay, I think that was a phantom call. There were two I think it was on their touchdown drive. I could be wrong, but there were two calls in a row, I think on a third down and then maybe the next second down where they called pass interference. And I'm just like, it's really I didn't think we held them. But as far as in general refs, I don't think you can ever blame the refs because you're going to be on one side or the other of them. And I think avoiding penalties as best you can and then responding with positive energy after a questionable call is all you can do. Because I think it was a hold when we played Utah, but Utah fans don't, and we're going to get that call and we might not get the next, and it might cost us the next game, so.
Well,
yeah,
refs definitely make a difference, right? But I feel like they're doing their best. Calls are going both ways. And obviously as a fan of one team, you only notice the ones that go against you, right? If they're going your way and you never say, oh man, the refs, they were terrible, but in my favor, right? So I just think, you need to play a game and keep it as clean as you can. But, unfortunately we get to slow it down, and there are some plays, right? There are some plays they can review to change. Some plays we get to review on TV and we can see, oh man, there wasn't anything there, but they have to call it full speed. So,
what does bother me is when they throw a late flag though, where it's like they already decided that wasn't a PI. And then they hear the crowd reaction, and then the ref looks around at the white hat and throws the flag. You're like, oh, come on. What are we doing?
There were a couple of calls in the East Carolina game that I just threw my hands up. But as a player, as a fan, right? Why I don't like to blame the ref is it's out of your control. There's nothing you can do.
Yeah.
Right. And it'll just distract you from what you need to do, from executing the way you need to execute.
Well, there was one that was called on us in their drive that in real life, I totally thought that it was a phantom call. And they slow it down, and you can see our DB pull the jersey. He collides into the other defensive player.
Oh, yeah.
And so if you only caught the part of the replay and you thought, well, they ran into each other.
Yeah.
Well, that's a terrible call. But when you see our guy pulled his jersey and clearly made him, change the momentum of where he was going.
Which was funny because the first ESPN clip that they showed, they didn't show the first part. So I showed it and I'm like, these two dudes ran into each other and you're calling that. But then they showed the full thing and you're like, oh, okay, yeah, we deserve that one.
So if you can't blame the refs, and I think we're all in agreement that it really does no good to blame the refs. What's the biggest momentum
lose,
killer?
Always good.
What kills the tide of the game? I mean, is it turnovers?
Oh yeah.
Is it just let down on execution? What typically if you said, hey, there's one thing that we have to avoid more than anything else that will totally kill the momentum.
Turnovers.
Maybe it's different for offense and defense.
100% turnovers. Yeah. I think about it. If we were all in on purple and yellow for ECU instead of all in on blue, if we were talking about this game, we would be like, man, we were driving on them to go up 10-3 into halftime. And then we turned the ball over, almost turned the ball over, and then pick six. Like that. I mean, that was it. We went into the half up 13-3, right? And we could have very easily been down 10-3. And I think if we go into halftime down 10-3, the halftime speech is different. There's no momentum in there. Guys are in there thinking, oh man, why can't we get this going? Instead of, man, we got this, let's go. I think turnovers for sure. And then also penalties that there's no debate on. False starts, personal fouls, late hits, those types of things. I mean,
well, even the, hold, right? When you get a first down, especially on like a 3rd and long, and you get a first down and there's a hold, that's a big momentum killer too. That can, take something from all of a sudden you're punting and you're giving away. It's almost the equivalent of a turnover. So,
well, execution in general, right, which includes penalties, right? I mean, you're not executing right. You're not thinking. Your mind's out of the game. You're gonna do some stupid things. Execution is important. I mean, who doesn't go out there wanting to execute? You're looking for your offense to execute with timing, with your defense to execute, right? With in every way, but it's incremental. It's little by little when you're talking about execution. Sure, you can destroy momentum by continually executing, but a turnover, a couple big turnovers could totally derail a game.
Oh, yeah.
They can totally turn the tide of the game altogether, change your momentum, your attitude. You can be winning a game and just be going out there dominating in the trenches, dominating in almost every way. A couple of turnovers can kill you.
Yeah, totally. And
you see it all the time.
Yeah. The big penalties, like if you're a defense and it's 3rd down and you have someone that you just got to stop, and you have someone that late hits or taunts somebody and, opens his mouth too much and, penalty, first down, 15 yards. Those really eat at a defense too. So.
And to all our fans out there, go ahead and chime in, if you would, in the comments, and just let us know what you think. What is it? Is it, do you agree? Is it turnovers? What are the other big factors? Maybe you think it's the refs. That's okay. Let us know.
The refs are the reason we won. Just kidding.
The refs are never the reason we win.
We have 11 penalties. We had 11 penalties, I think.
Has any team from their team's fans actually thought they won a game because of a bad call from a ref?
Oh, I'm sure there's a select few. Fair weather fans only.
I'm guessing all the Arizona State fans clearly saw it that way last year.
Yeah.
That they only won because the refs decided not to throw the intentional grounding.
Somehow there was not one flag on that whole thing. Okay, we're moving on. Not one.
Okay. Colorado then. To wrap it up, what's your score prediction at Colorado? What do we see? Is it a high scoring game? Is it a close game? And do we win or do we lose?
I think we're gonna win, and I think it's gonna be 30-21. I think we'll get a 9-point. If there was an 8.5 spread, I'd take it. 30-21. It's my prediction. What about you?
I think it's going to be a fairly not high scoring game, but I'm going to go about that same. I think we'll be.
There he goes again. Oh, I liked what Taylor said. I'm just going to do what he did. I'm just kidding.
I think we'll be mid-30s. I think we're going to win by 2 touchdowns. I'm going to go with 2 touchdowns.
You like that, 2 touchdowns?
Yeah,
I remember.
Just do that every week. I like
2 touchdowns,
it.
Right? Yeah.
Okay,
safe. One touchdown's not enough if you're a BYU fan.
I think it's going to be 14 points.
Oh, thanks.
Okay.
No missed PATs involved. We're going to.
I think we're in for a high scoring game. I really do. Just watching the way that I think BYU is going to be able to move the ball, and then the athletic plays from Colorado. I think they're going to score on us more with a few big plays. I'm gonna say they're 21 to 24 points from Colorado, and but I think we're gonna outdo them, and I think their defense is going to give up a lot more points. I think we're going to be able to rush the ball well against Colorado, and seeing what I've seen from the passing game, I think we'll be able. And if we get the right calls, I think we'll be able to pass against them as well. So I'm gonna actually say I'm more favorable in this game than I am at Eastern Colorado. I think we're gonna come into
Carolina.
East. Okay, East. Right when we played the East.
Thanks.
We played out there on the East Coast. Now I predicted I think we'd win by 10, right? And it'd be a little bit lower scoring. I think they're going to score 21 to 24 points, and I think BYU is going to win this with 38 to 42 points. I think is what our offense is going to be able to put up on them.
All right.
Wow.
Cool.
Where's those blue goggles this week?
No, I actually could see that. You can put them here. You can put them on.
I'm putting them on.
I'm trying to reserve the blue goggles for extremely blue goggle moments.
I believe it wholeheartedly out there.
No, 42 points from Bear Bachmeyer. It's a blue goggle moment now, but I do think it could happen, and it'd be awesome. We'd be happy for it.
Well, if he believes it could happen, it's going to happen. Blue goggles and all. Yeah. So yeah. Anyway. Yes, to our...
you can keep those on. You can keep those on while we close. I'm just kidding.
Wrap it up with the goggles. To all of our fans out there, that's a wrap for today. We're grateful for you. We really sincerely do. We appreciate you watching. We appreciate you liking, subscribing. That really helps us out, and it'll allow us to bring more content for longer to you and better content. So if you'd please subscribe. And don't be afraid to comment. We love to read your comments and see what you think. If there's ways you think we can improve, let us know. Let us know. Please do. And as always, we want to thank our sponsor. The Scriptures Are Real. Please go check them out.
As well as Beehive Broadcast.
And Beehive Broadcast.
Our loyal producers.
BJ at Beehive Broadcast. They provide the studio. They provide everything here for us. Please check them out as well. If you want to come to an awesome studio with an awesome producer, BJ is his name. You got to come check out Beehive Broadcast. And for now, that's a wrap. We will see you after the BYU Colorado game in Boulder. Hopefully, you're all watching.
And we're all in on blue, baby.
All in on blue, baby. All right. Good night. We're a family. We're known for our tight ends.
Clap right after you bend over in front of the camera.
Hey, you guys.
Oh, this is All in on Blue. Brought to you by The Scriptures Are Real. Oh, man.